Tag, Kale and Caulifla make their first return, but are they worth your 500 Carnival coins? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We are back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we have the Devil Rights Rising Dragon Carnival as part 2 of the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, and with it comes the return of LR, Kale and Caulifla, the Tag Carnival LR from this year's Golden Week. As expected, she did make her return, and the big question on everybody's mind is she worth your 500 Carnival coins? So in this video, we're going to break her down and determine whether or not she's worth their coins, or if there's anybody else on the current banner worth our coins. So first things first, let me say that if you did not pull the Broly, then definitely save your coins. Added on to that, if you did not pull Carnival LR AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or STR Rose and Zamasu, then you should definitely save your coins until they make their return. Broly could return as early as the New Year's Step Up, and Rose and Gogeta are more likely to return during the 11th anniversary. So, unless you plan on summoning on the next big Carnival banner, which will be the Rising Dragon Carnival in December, and you know you're going to achieve 500 coins during that banner, then I would highly recommend you save your coins until these guys return. They are going to be the greater value for you. Now, looking at the current Carnival banner, aside from Broly himself, the other Carnival LR that returned on this banner is, of course, the Tech Gotenks. They also placed LR STR Broly, who is getting a Super Easy A, and AGL Golden Frieza, who got his Easy A. Now, AGL Golden Frieza's Easy A is really good. Gotenks is still very useful in the special battle events due to his Ki Blast counters. And we don't know the status of Carnival LR STR Broly just yet, but even then, I given that, you know, a lot of the times with the Redstones, this guy is now freely available. At this point, I would honestly say, or not the Redstones, but like the Memorial Stones, I would honestly say it's probably best to just hold off and not use 500 coins to pick this guy up. So that leaves the question, well then, is Kale and Caulifla worth the pickup right now? Well, if you guys remember, she did lead Universe 6 for 220, which made her a pretty rough leader, although Universe 6 is in a pretty good state right now. It is pretty fleshed out as a team, and can be utilized in most events, although if you plan on tagging Kale and Caulifla, you do need events where you can get to at least turn 6. She has this really neat ability that once you get her 18 key off, she has some additional dodge going on for 3 turns, which really helps her out, as well as, boosting it along with her critical hit on her 12 key. Added on to that, she has a guaranteed dodge for her first attack within the turn. So that can be really helpful, right? If you know where the super attacks are, you can sort of place her in front of those, especially if it ends up being the first attack that she has to take, which it a lot of times is. That can be very, very helpful. But I mean, she doesn't do much other than dodge. She gets a little bit of offensive build up, not too much, right? Through her once she gets, you want to get her built up by attacking, and she gets more attacks by evading. So you want to get her built up a little, and then on turn 6, when you can exchange her, you want to exchange her into Kale and launch an all-out attack, right? Kale has the ability to massively raise her attack and greatly on her 18 key, and greatly raise it on the 12 key, along with increasing her critical hit, right? So opposite Caulifla, who built her dodge, she built her critical hit. Added on to that, right, she does have crit on her first appearance, so that's very helpful. And then basically the more keys she gets, the more powerful she is, and the more damage she does due to the additional attacks, right? If you get all 23 key spheres, you can launch a very, very strong attack, which is actually possible for her to do on the turn that you exchange her, right? Because on the turn that you exchange her, Caulifla changes all key spheres to Fizz, so that that basically allows Kale to launch 6 super attacks, which is pretty good. Her defense is honestly pretty incredible, even though she's not getting much on her super attack effect. Like this little bit right here, you combine guard with 66% defense for 23 key spheres. That's actually kind of crazy. She actually ends up having a lot of defense there, so very, very good there. The only problem is, of course, she needs medium to medium long events, and they honestly work best when you run them as lead. I know that sounds crazy because Universe 6 isn't that good. Like it's in a decent spot, but it's it's definitely not one of the better teams. But they work best when you can utilize both, right? When you utilize when you get to the point that you want, right? You utilize Caulifla's ability to buff them for 16% for the turn, and then on your other Kale and Caulifla, who ideally would be linked with this one, on the Kale, you activate her active skill, which boosts her attack 40%. So it basically just gives her a big, massive turn. So honestly, all in all, I would say that if you are missing them and you do have the GDC LRs and you did pull Broly, then absolutely, right? As the Tanabata LR, well, not Tanabata, Golden Week LR, she is an extra LR that has been added for the year. So this is a brand new Carnival LR slot. We don't really know how her returns is going to work. For all we know, her next return could be on the step up, and then we won't see her again until Golden Week, and that's kind of a big gap, especially if she doesn't end up being on the step up. So my advice to you is, if you don't have her and you have all of those other Carnival LRs, then go right ahead, pick her up, because she can be worth it. As long as you have the Universe 6 team to run her, then go for it. I would definitely recommend that. Otherwise, save your coins if you're not really a fan of running Universe 6. Now, I will say one last thing before we close out here, and that is because of the Carnival, because of the coin exchange shenanigans, all of the Carnival and Dokkan Fest LRs from GDC are still currently available in the coin shop until the 29th. So if you had to absolutely use somebody right now with your Carnival coins, honestly, it's not a bad idea to pick up Forku. He's actually one of the units that has so far been pretty versatile in all forms of content. So if you were missing him, he might honestly be a better choice over the Kale and Caulifla. But just throwing that out there, that he is still currently available, and if you were missing him, now would be a good chance to pick him up. So guys, that is it for the video. That is my recommendation on whether or not you should pick up Kale and Caulifla. Again, if they are the only Carnival LR you are currently missing, then it is definitely worth your stones. But otherwise, save for those bigger LRs, especially if you are missing them, because we don't know. Well, we know that these guys will return on 11th anniversary, but the rest, it could be any time between. So just make sure you're prepared, and that if you do purchase her, you do have a plan to summon on the next big event where you can pull these guys. So that's it for the video, guys. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.